Now, to bring us a New Orleans welcome, I want to introduce LaToya Cantrell. Prior to her election as District B council member in 2012 and re-election without opposition in February 2014, LaToya Cantrell was a nonprofit management executive for over 10 years, gaining valuable experience in education reform, strategic planning, neighborhood revitalization, financial management, economic development, and grassroots organizing. And so here to tell us a little bit about what's happened here in the city of New Orleans related to their tobacco-free ordinance that was passed, and to give you a New Orleans welcome, please welcome Ms. LaToya Cantrell.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm so glad to be here with you, but I'm not just here to welcome you on behalf of the city of New Orleans. I am here to say thank you. Thank you to CDC, who did not waver when this city was moving towards making it a smoke-free environment. You were a part of the partnerships that we were able to assemble. And I wanted to just acknowledge Ms. Susan, who I spoke with and I actually met here shortly, who said, wow, I'm sure that partners really did make a difference. Absolutely. Partners made all the difference. But let me give you a little background. Now, Dr. Jack and I go way back because in 2005, they asked me to serve on the Center for Health and Health Disparities that was created by Xavier University of Louisiana. And we just celebrated over 10 years of that organization that's still alive and doing real work. But it was at that level where I gained firsthand knowledge as it relates to disparities that exist in the city of New Orleans. And then in the post-Katrina environment, when my neighborhood was recommended to the mayor at the time that it should not be rebuilt, and I was quoted as saying, all hell broke loose, in which it did. But I led the community through a post-disaster recovery that's now being taught at the Kennedy School of Government and is a model for post-disaster recovery, not only at a national level, but a global level. But the core of that, I'm not telling you for that, but thank you. But the core of that work really focused on disparities that existed at the community level. And how we, meaning the community, worked to plan for our future and making sure that it was better than before Katrina. It was zeroing in and taking a deeper dive on those social ills that plagued us and health issues that plagued us. Public health, that's how I see it. But it was looking closely there, but ensuring that the neighborhood not only would come back, but it led to education, fought for that to come back. Community health clinic, we were able to design and have built in the community. Behavioral health, arts and wellness center that opened in June of last year, but focusing on the behavioral health of people and being holistic in terms of wellness. Library, community center, all of these pieces matter as we all do our work to improve the quality of life of people where they live. Because if we don't do it where they live, you're not doing it. So with that work, then getting on the city council in 2012. In 2013, my office had we have a strategic plan every year. Making New Orleans a smoke-free city was a part of that strategic plan. So starting to lay the groundwork, meeting with Harris Casino. Everything was transparent. This was not an I gotcha type of movement. It was letting them know, hey, this is a part of my agenda. This is how I'm planning to work, building partnerships with my colleagues and boots on the grounds like you to make this happen. They didn't believe me, but you move on. We started celebrating bars and work environments that had chosen to become smoke-free on their own. So when we did that, check mark, people already in this city serving, working, doing their jobs, but being intentional about the people that work for them. So we got them as a part of the partnership. But you're in New Orleans, and what's at the core of what we do, we're a destination city. And our musicians, our culture bearers, are also a part of that fabric. They became partners. Those musicians like John Boutte, who said, hey, I can't play in a smoke environment anymore. Deacon John, hey, I'm tired of going to funerals burying my people. Irvin Mayfield, my body is my instrument. They became partners. But I'm telling you, when CDC stepped in, when the American Heart Association said, we're not coming back to New Orleans until it's a smoke-free environment, when Tobacco Free Living said, we have your back, LaToya and Susan Guidry, that's my colleague on the council, when we were stepping out, they said, we got you. The American non-smokers' rights, again, when we can walk out and see commercials on TV, New Orleans, soon to be a smoke-free environment, going to the Pelicans games, seeing our players say, hey, we want a smoke-free environment. But this all led up to a 7-0 vote by the New Orleans City Council that took place January 22nd in 2015. So this city that you're in and that you came back to is now a smoke-free environment, not just for you as your visitors, and you matter, but it's for the people who are the backbone, not only of the city of New Orleans, but the state of Louisiana. We are a destination city. Our people work in these hospitality industries to serve, and no one should have to put their life, literally their health, before saying, oh, I cannot accept your job. Or, you know what, I have to accept the job because I have to feed my family. No one should have to work in a deadly environment. So while this city was once known as the city that cared for God, and we learned very quickly after Katrina, because of people like you and all over the world who showed us, hey, care is out there for New Orleans. But it was time for the leadership of this city to set the tone that we care about our people. We can say, hey, no dollar is above the life of our people. And so with that 7-0 vote, that's what that meant. And it was people who held the line. Partnerships, our partners helped us do that. So I don't want to underestimate the value that you bring to the table, because we not only have to, as you said, we have to walk the talk. And so this city has done that. Less than 3 months after the ban went into effect, the air quality improved by 96%. Very important. So I'm going to wrap it up. But all of this work was done thinking about people like Mr. Mervin, who was a dealer at Harris Casino. Lung cancer, never smoked a day in his life. Had his surgery, was then released by Harris, saying he did not show, failed to show up. People like Miss Claudia, a dealer, breast cancer, had a mastectomy, went back to work sooner than when she was supposed to, but after a week on the job, her wounds opened back up because of those toxins. So this is what it's all about. This is what our work has to be about. So I just want you all to keep making sure you spark so you can enjoy that great fire in a real way, because our people deserve it, and we need to continue to improve the quality of life for our people, all of them, everywhere. So thank you so much.
In honor of the councilwoman, as she's exiting, I'd like to hear you say, where they live. Where they live. Where they live. If you didn't realize it, if you didn't feel it, we've got our charge and we got our charge. Okay? That 7-0 vote doesn't just happen by circumstances. Now tomorrow you're going to hear from the CDC about some of the restrictions around advocacy and what you can do.